Well, hello, everybody. I am Emily Francis. I am an ESL teacher here in Concord, North Carolina. I am super excited today to have this opportunity with Matt PD to present a video on something that I worked with my students while I was an ESL teacher at the elementary school at Irvin Elementary. But I have a few things to show you, something that inspired my students to become authors of their own stories. And I wanted to share that with you. So we are going to learn how to make our students become authors using this app, fabulous app called WriteReader app. We used to give students a list of prompts for them to choose to write, and then we'll give them pencil and paper, and then we'll say, okay, off you go and write. No more boring writing. This type of writing does not inspire our students to become the best writers they can be. So please don't do this anymore. So when it comes to writing, our students need an authentic audience. In order for them to really give their best out, they need to know that besides the teacher, there's somebody else out there reading their stories, like sharing them throughout the world. They want to share their stories with their friends, with the president, with their parents and family, and former teachers, principal, and whoever else besides the teacher. So my idea for my students is to tell them that whenever we're going to do some writing, to keep a bigger audience in mind, not just me as a teacher. I am there to support them and provide them feedback, but think globally. And when you tell them that they have an authentic audience, you inspire them to be the best writers they can be. So WriteReader is the perfect platform to do that. So once they write these stories, we can share them through Twitter, Facebook. I put them in my blog. I text them to our parents. We email these stories to other teachers, and we even print the stories out. This is the beauty about WriteReader, that you have all these ways to be able to share your students' writing. And when they know that all this audience out there, it's available to share and hear and read their stories, they are inspired to give their best. So I want to start by sharing the way to inspire your students to become writers is for you to implement the Talk, Read, Talk, Write by Nancy Motley. I read this wonderful book that taught me how, in order for our students to become great writers, they need to be able to talk, to read the book, talk again, and be able to write again. So I'll show you this process and see how this goes. So this right here is the process where our students are talking about a book. They look at the cover, and based on the cover and the pictures of the book, they create charts within each other. So if you look at the pictures, these charts are not made by the teacher, they are made by the students, because this is the foundation that they are going to create, or they're going to use these charts in order to inspire their writing later on. So right now they're just brainstorming what they are listening in the books. They are brainstorming what they're talking with each other. They're turning and talking. Their ideas are coming from themselves, not from us as a teacher. The drawings they are doing, they are inspired to add details because they know that it's going to be added to their book later on. So this is the first process to become a great writer, a great author: talking and reading. So very important foundation. In order for students to exhale writing, they need to inhale this reading and this talking with their peers. I don't tell my students to go off and write on their own. They go and write off with their peers because they provide support as far as what letters to use, what word in a sentence. Is my sentence complete? So that engagement helps the students feel supported, not from the teacher, but from their peers themselves. And before students go into WriteReader, I encourage my students to do their writing in notebooks, because that gives them the ability to share quickly with their peers as far as what letter should I change, what word should I change. They can scribble, they can erase, they can draw pictures because they can use these pictures later when they do their digital stories. So here it is. I want you to see all of the stories that published. Now this is the video that I want to show you on how WriteReader works. So now that the stories are ready on paper, you go to WriteReader, you'll see the children, how they log in. And if you don't have an account, all you have to do is you change it to the educator platform. I usually log in with my Google Classroom, with my Google account, but you can create it with your email as well. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, but if you're a first timer, you might have to sign up. So creating a class is super easy. You get a code and your passcode, so only you and your students have access to that platform that has all of the classes. So you see right here, I have 3 classrooms. This one is my 5th graders. Just because they're older, I have their own class assignment so they don't get mixed up with the little kids' books. But these are books published by my 5th graders. And right here, 17 and 18 ebooks that we made. And here's the code. And these are all of the books that my 1st graders, my kindergartners, and my 2nd graders made last year. So here they are. And super easy. I'm going to go ahead and log out as a teacher view, and I'm going to go ahead and log in as a student view. You're going to get a user name, which you can change it and edit it as you want. The code, you can always put it up on the board, and the kids remember it like no time. And if you notice right here, all they have to do is click on that plus button at the bottom, and they start creating their own books. And right there, this is the powerful thing, when students can see that they enter their own title, and they enter, the author is going to be themselves, their own name. So that right there is just so empowering for students to see that they are making their own book. They are the authors of their own stories. They can add pictures. There's already a search that you can add pictures. You can take a picture. You can upload a picture as well if you have it on your computer. I always had my students draw pictures and take a picture of their drawing so they can add it to their books. And once we get to the end of the slides, you'll have access to read some of these books, and you'll see how my students were able to use the Google search to add images, but they also added their own images, and that itself makes it powerful. So you can add as many pages as you want to. They can speech to text, and it's amazing how they can go back and they can read everybody else's books. So that gives them an idea if they want to look at how everybody else is working and get some ideas. So that's it. What we did is, after the students made their published their own books, we invited all the kindergarten teachers and all the 1st grade teachers to come and see our published stories. So we have a red carpet, and we printed all of the books for kids to share with each other, but we have them digital as well. So we also email the link to our teachers so they can share with the classrooms as well. So because I have ESL students, they come to my classroom for this, but once they go back, they can share with the classmates. So if you notice right here, I have 2 blog posts that were shared through Achieve the Core, because our students did a fabulous job with their stories, and they were empowered. I know there's something that they will never, never forget. So here's my last slide. If you want to go to bit.ly, becoming authors, you will have access to the slides. That's it. That's all I have. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. And if you do use this platform and your students create any stories, please share them with us. I'll be happy to share that with my students as well, and provide feedback, because you can provide feedback to the books as they are published. So thank you for tuning in and listening to Don't Just Make Your Students Write, Make Them Authors. Have fun writing. Bye.